Welcome to Sketchy. We take all the super complex stuff you need to learn and turn them into memorable visual stories packed full of everything you need to know on test day. Click the link in the corner or description to try for free for 7 days. Now let's get to it.
Welcome to Summit of Sensations, your premier pet store on this side of the Mississippi. The sign may be reminiscent of an earlier business model, but it's a good reminder of the word somatosensation. Somatosensation is generally described as the sense of touch. It involves a bunch of specialized receptors that are triggered by things like pressure, stretch, or vibration. Neurons transmit these signals to the somatosensory cortex in the parietal lobe, and each area of the somatosensory cortex processes signals from a specific skin region. These are mapped out across its surface in a diagram called a homunculus. The primary receptors involved in somatosensation are mechanoreceptors. Mechanoreceptors are mechanically gated ion channels that open in response to movement, much like these mechanical turnstiles open with a push. Once ion channels open, ions move across the cell membrane, causing depolarization and the generation of an action potential. Now, much of somatosensation comes from mechanoreceptors in the skin. There are 4 main types: Merkel discs, or Merkel cells, Meissner corpuscles, Ruffini endings, and Pacinian corpuscles. We'll work our way through them from the top layer of the skin down as we make our way from the front of the store to the back. So say hello to Merkel, the resident turtle and professional greeter here at SOS. Merkel represents Merkel discs, and he's near the front of the store because Merkel discs are the most superficial mechanoreceptors located at the junction of the dermis and epidermis. Seems like his shell has grown a few sizes too small over his 70 years. The pressure he's feeling inside that tight shell should remind you that Merkel discs respond to pressure. This means they're also involved in recognizing textures, such as Merkel's highly textured shell. Being so close to the entrance seems to have spurred some wanderlust in this chubby Kilonian. He's actively breaking free, as a reminder that Merkel discs are the only mechanoreceptors of the 4 we'll talk about today that involve free nerve endings, as in their receptors aren't encapsulated in anything else. It's a simple design, but effective. Don't strain too hard, little buddy. Now these guys look a bit more relaxed. Our hairless mice have no qualms about showing some skin. That's because they represent Meissner corpuscles, which are only found in hairless areas like the fingertips or eyelids. Meissner corpuscles respond to light touch and vibration, as well as indentation, which you can remember from the light touch of this mousy masseuse who's just barely indenting her companion's skin. Ah, and there's good old Ruff. Look at that stretch! Ruff represents Ruffini endings, which are spindle-shaped mechanoreceptors in the dermis. They're oriented parallel to stretch lines on the surface of the skin, and they respond to, you guessed it, stretch. Finally, in the very back of the store, say hello to my fluffy friend, the alpaca. He represents Pacinian corpuscles. Okay, to be fair, they are pronounced Pacinian corpuscles, but that sounds a lot less like a certain alpaca, doesn't it? Anyway, Pacinian corpuscles are in the deepest layers of the dermis, which is why he's at the back of the store. And his compressed saddle fur and excitedly vibrating ears are a clue that Pacinian corpuscles respond to compression and vibration.